Hello everyone. So we are having our discussion about the number systems, right? And we said that it can be divided into many parts. But here in our discussion, it's relevant to have integers, characters, and real numbers, right? So that contains the integers or the whole numbers and the fractional values. Now, integers where we can have the positive values and the negative values. And in the last lectures, we have talked about the representations in the decimal number system and how to convert it to a particular number system with base b. And what should I do with the whole number part? What should I do with the real numbers where we have the fractions and all? And also we try to talk about how to convert directly from the binary number system to octal number system or to hexadecimal number systems, right? About this representation of character, we'll cover this later, because before that we need to know certain things. Probably in some coding class you have seen this ASCII values, valued codes and all, but we'll come to the representation of characters a bit later, right? Here today we'll primarily focus on the representation of the negative numbers, right? In binary, the negative number, it has two representation. One is known as the ones complement and the second is known as the twos complement, right? We'll see what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and also like certain operations, typically the subtraction operation using the one complements. I believe that you know how to add binary numbers when both these numbers are positives. So I think like in some course you have that particular knowledge. If you don't have that particular thing, please let me know and probably we can discuss it. So let us start with the ones complement, right? Now when we try to talk about the negative numbers, typically it's necessary to define the code length. Why so? Because say I want to represent, say I want to represent -4. Okay, so how do I do that? Now the idea for in case of the ones complement is that I'll represent this 4 in the way I do in case of the binary. So not the negative part, the positive 4, right? So it's 0 0 1, that is the number. Now what I'll do is that to represent that I'm actually representing a positive number, I'll append a 0 here. And then to represent that it's actually a negative number, so I'm representing a -4, what I'll do, I'll invert all the bits, right? So this will be 1, this will be 0, this is 1 and 1. So you'll see effectively in this representation, this particular bit is becoming the sign bit, right? So here 0 actually indicating that this is actually a positive number, positive 4. Here the bit is indicating minus negative number, right? So it's 1, that means it's a negative number that I have stored here. And accordingly, I need to treat the number, right? Now, there is a catch. The catch is that as we were discussing, so 1011 is also a valid non-negative number, right? So you can find out. So it's actually 1 plus 2 plus 8, right? So it's 11, right? So if I want to represent 11, then it will become 1011. So once it's a positive number, once it's a negative number, so there might be a problem. So when I need to define two things, often you'll see that when you want to code in higher computer languages, you'll see that I need to define whether my integer is an signed integer or unsigned integer. Even if you are not doing it, at least in the processor end, you need to define what is the bit length. So if it is a signed variable, so if the bit length or the code length is 4 and it's a signed number, then I need to understand that the first bit is actually a sign bit and the rest will represent the number. Now, apart from that, I need to also know whether it's actually represented in ones complement format or twos complement format. Why? We'll soon we'll see why is it necessary. But the thing is that you'll see that what is the value that can vary here. So I have 3 bits to represent the value, right? 1 bit for the sign if my code length is 4, obviously. So then in that case, 1 bit is for sign bit, another 3 bits for the data part, right? So it can go from 000 to 111, right? So ignore the sign bit for now. So the values that I can represent here is obviously from 0 to 7, right? Now I can have like positive value, I can have negative values. So the values that I can represent here is from -7 to +7, right? So that can be represented using 4-bit code length signed variable, right? Obviously in the form of the ones complement. In twos complement, you'll see that things will be a bit different, right? So here again, let me repeat what I have said. So in case of the negative numbers, there are two representations, ones complements and twos complements. In case of the ones complements, what I'll do is that if I want to represent a negative number, I'll take it and I represent the number. I should have a sign bit for that number, and then I take a bitwise not, right? I invert these bits, and then I'll have my ones complement representation for that negative number, right? So here also it's important to mention or to keep that in mind that for I need to define that this is a signed variable, because otherwise there can be a non-negative number which might have the similar representation and you might have some confusion, right? So you should keep it in mind that this particular thing is a signed bit and then you need to act accordingly. But the thing is that here the values can vary from -7 to +7, because if your code length is 4, because the data part, it can vary from 000 to 111, right? So that is the idea. Now let us see how we can use this ones representation for our subtraction operation, right? So to do so, let us write down the, again we'll follow the same rule. We'll try to write down the steps to perform the operation, and then accordingly we'll do it, right? So for subtraction by ones complement, what we'll do, I'll take the ones complement of the subtrahend, right? So that the number that I want to subtract. So take ones complement of subtrahend, and then add with minuend, right? At this point, just for a side note, if you don't know how to add binary numbers, this will in at that step will anyway cover it, right? So don't worry. And then what we'll do, I'll look into the result. So if the result has carry 1, then I should realize that the result is a positive number, and I'll add 1 to LSB, and that will be my final result. If there is no carry, then what I'll do, I'll understand the result is a negative number. And in case of the negative number, see here, from here, if I want to go back to find out what is the actual result, what I should do, I should take ones complement of the number, right? And then find out the value. When I take the ones complement, you'll see that the sign bit is 0, right? But as I'm taking the ones complement, I should keep in mind that this number is actually, this number is a negative number, right? So I keep in mind that it's a negative number. I'll take the ones complement and then convert the magnitude part. I'll extract from this particular thing, and then I'll put this minus sign. Let me repeat once again. So what I'm saying, that if I get this number, so if I am interested in the representation, you can check that if I want to, use the same concept, that if I want to, want to convert it, so it should not come, right? So it's not 1 plus 2 plus anything, like it's not that particular number. This is not the number. In any form, you cannot get back this magnitude 4, the absolute value of the negative number, right? So what to do? You should take the ones complement, keeping it in mind that it's actually a negative number. That's why you are taking ones complement. To check the magnitude and put the minus sign. So here, as soon as I understand that there is no carry, I'll understand that it's a negative result that I'm getting. So I'll take ones complement, but that will give me the magnitude, right? And add the negative sign in the decimal system, right? So if you want to check it in decimal system, you should do it. Otherwise, you can keep it in this particular stage, knowing that it's a negative result that you have produced, right? If you want to go to the decimal value with the negative sign, you should take the ones complement, see the magnitude, put the negative sign. Let us do an exercise. I think like it will be much clearer then, right? So this is the recipe or the formula that we'll follow, right? Let us see. So we should do it slowly, otherwise there might be mistakes. So I want to perform 21 minus 5, say, right? So you can pause the video, try to follow the steps and see whether you are getting the results. Again, I'm assuming that you have done this couple of times, but I'll be exhaustive because these are some initial lectures, right? So I'll be kind of exhaustive. So if you already know it, please bear with it. If you don't know it or you have forgotten it, so try to revise that, right? So what I'll do, I'll have the binary representation of this. I'll have the binary representation of 5, right? Only 5. But I have a minus. I want to perform this in ones complement method. So I'll take the bitwise not and then add this representation with the ones complement representation. Then I'll check the carry. If there is a carry, then accordingly I have to do something, right? So let me just change the color of the pen, then it will be easier for me. And it's not changed. Right. So 21, if you look into 21, the representation should be 1 0 1 4 and 5 0 1, right? 16 4 1, right? Yeah. Again, I'm not now doing that division by 2 and all, right? So I am assuming that within a lecture you are kind of a grown up and then can have the binary codes directly. Now, this is a positive number, so let us put a 0 here just to indicate that it's a positive number. Now I want to have 5, right? So it's 1 0 1. Now here I have 3 and 3 6 bits, so 0 0 0. So that is my positive number. Now what I'll do, I'll take the ones complement. So it will be 1 1 1 0 1 0, right? So I'll add this to 1 1 1 0 1 0. So it will be 1 1 1 1 1 0. 1 will be here. it will be 0 1, right? So 1 0 0 1 1 1 1, right? So I started with 6 bits, right? So both the representations were 6-bit. So now I have 7 bits, so I have one carry here. So what will happen in case of a carry? In case of a carry, I'll assume that the I'll get that information that the result is a positive number, and I'll add 1 to the LSB. That will be my final result, right? So I'll take this here and add 1. So it will be 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 0. So this is carry. I ignore it. That is the final result, right? So if I want to convert it to decimal, so it's 1 2 4 8 16, right? So it's 16 in decimal. So indeed 21 minus 5 is 16. Let us try to do it another way. So say my operation is 5 minus 21. Okay, let us see again. This is obviously 101. Let me put the sign bit 0. This will become, I am representing the 21. 21 is 10101, right? 10101. So this is the positive 21. So what I'll have to do is that I have to, this is 6-bit, right? So this is 4. I need to append 2 more bits here just to make them equal length. Otherwise, I cannot make the addition. Now, this was positive 21. I need to make it negative 21. So I'll take bitwise. So one's complement. So bitwise not. So 1 0 1 0 1 0. I guess it's correct. Now I'll add it. It will go here. So plus 1 0 1 0 1 0. So 1 1 1 1 1 1 0 1. So no carry, right? So when there is no carry, the result is negative number, and take one's complement and convert it to add the negative sign means you have to convert it to the decimal system and then add the negative sign, right? So this is, that means it's a negative result. Now what I'll do, I'll take the ones complement. So 0 0 0 0 1 0. So this is the magnitude, right? So if I look into the value, it's 16. So 16 is the magnitude, and I have realized that the result should be negative. So minus 16 in decimal. So indeed, again, it's correct, right? So you can like try with other numbers and see whether you are able to perform the subtraction operation, and I hope the addition operation, I have also used it, so you are familiar with that as well. Now this is good actually. I mean, you'll see that compared to the next representation, which is the 2's complement representation, this, the operation is actually easier, but there is a problem. The problem with one's complement is, probably some of you might already identify it. If you don't know, even then also it's actually easier to identify. Say I want to represent 0, so I'm using 4-bit. It's 0 0 0. Now if I take one's complement, it's 1 1 1 1, right? So actually the code for 0 should be a singular thing, right? So but here in one's complement, this is also 0, kind of. This is a positive 0 and this is a negative 0, which is a stupid thing to say, but kind of I have two representations for 0, right? So which is not that good. It's kind of ambiguous. So we have invented something called the 2's complement method, which actually tries to bypass this thing. There you'll have a singular representation for all the digits. So in 2's complement, so what we'll try to do, we'll take the number. If it is a negative number, then we'll take the ones complement and add 1, right? So that will give me the 2's complement. So what is the advantage? So as I see, it's 0, 0, 0, 0. If I take the ones complement, so it's 1, 1, 1, 1. So if I add 1, so it's a, say it's a 4-bit register, right? That means the code length is always 4. So it will be 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. So I'll ignore this because the representation is always 4-bit. So I'll have a same representation for my 0, right? So what is the advantage of this? You'll see what will be the advantage. So before that, let us try to have certain operations, right? So let's see. So if I want to have -4 in 2's complement, right? So what will be the value? So as I said, the +4 is 0, 1, 0, 0, right? So I'll take the ones complement. It will be 1, 0, 1, 1. And I'll add 1. So it will be 0, 0, 1, 1. That will be my 2's complement representation for -4, right? Now the benefit is that, as I said, obviously your 0 will have unambiguous representation. That is also good. Another thing is that if you look into this representation, so you'll see that the 1, 0, 0, 0, this particular code, when I am talking about the 4-bit representation, so you'll see that this particular bit is actually not representing. So here I was saying that, if you remember in this particular discussion, what I was saying is that I have 3-bit to represent the magnitude and 1 bit for the sign, right? So in 3-bit, actually, what I can do is that I can represent from um, 0 to 7. But here you'll see that the 1, 0, 0, 0, this particular bit is not associated with any number between -7 to +7. So this particular bit, though this is a 4-bit number, valid 4-bit number, right? So what I can do is that I can actually associate this number with another number. So actually I can represent one more number, decimal number, using 4-bit. There I had -7 to 7. Here the notion is that as you have 1 at the MSB, that means it's a negative number. We typically say that this representation is actually -8. So here in case of the 2's complement, the data range that you can represent, so n-bit 2's complement system has range -2 to the power n-1 to the power n-1 minus 1, right? So for example, for the positive part, I can represent 0. That is the sign bit. It's saying it's a positive number, 0, 1, 1, 1. So this is the value for 7, right? +7. So in 2's complement system, I can say this 4-bit number is +7, which is to the power n-1 minus 1. But as I said, this 1, 0, 0, 0, which is a valid sorry, 4-digit number, this is not actually associated, the magnitude value is not associated with any number between -7 to +7, right? So I can assign it to -8, right? So it's -2 to the power n-1, whatever is the value. So that is like, for example, if it is say this is -2 to the power 4 minus 1, right? So similarly, if you have 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, that can be represented at -2, 5 to the power -1. Sorry, -2 to the power 5 minus 1, right? So whatever is the value. So it's -16, by the way, right? So the 2's complement actually has a wider range compared to the ones complement method, and also the zeros, it is actually it has unambiguous representation in case of the 2's complement, right? Now we also need to check how to perform the subtraction operation. It's kind of same. I mean, if you look into the representation, if you have, in case of 2's complement, so take 2's complement if you want to perform the subtraction operation, right? So we are defining the steps for the subtraction operation. Take the 2's complement of subtrahend, add with minuend. If there is a carry, then the result is positive, and simply ignore the carry. Okay. And if the, sorry, I should not have a loop on this. Just a moment. So this is not here. Yeah. So if there is no carry, then what will happen? Obviously, the result is negative. Keep that in your mind, right? Then subtract 1, take 1's complement. So if you convert it to the decimal, that will give you the magnitude of the result, and then put the negative sign in front of it, right? Let us see. So we using the same example. So we have 21 minus 5. We'll follow now this process. So I'll take the 2's complement, add them, check the carry. If there is a carry, the number is positive, I'll just simply ignore the carry. If there is no carry, I'll subtract 1 and then take 1's complement, right? So 21 minus 1, let's see. So it's, this will be 1 0 16 4 1 21. I'll put 0 to indicate that it's positive. So my 5 is nothing but 101, but I have like 6 bits, so I'll make this. This is 1's complement, so it will be 1 1 1 0 1 0, right? Then plus 1, so it will be 1 1 1 0 1 1, right? Now I'll add these two, so it will be 1 1 1 0 1 1, then add, it's 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 1. So it will be 1 here, then 1 up, it's 1 1 0 and 1 carry, right? So I said if there is a carry, the result is positive and ignore the carry, right? So the result is positive, ignore the carry. And if you convert this, this is 1 2 4 8 16, right? So it's 16, which is the result, right? Now if I want to check the other thing, obviously, if I want to see like what will be my 5 minus 21, then it will be nothing but, so for 5 my representation will be 101, and then I'll put a 0 here. For 21, positive part is 10101. So if I put 0, that is the positive 21, I need to represent minus 21. So 1's complement, it will be 1 0 1 0 1 0. I guess it's correct. And then what I'll do is that I'll add 1 to make it 2's complement. So 1 1 0 1 0 1, and then I'll add, but definitely 6 bit, it's 4 bits, so I need 2 more zeros here. Now it's 1 0 1 0 1 1, right? So 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 0, it's 1 1, right? So no carry here. So if there is no carry, that means the result is negative, right? What I have to do, I have to reduce 1 and then see what is the, take the 1's complement, and that will be the magnitude. I'll put back the sign, right? So I can stop here. This is the legit 2's complement representation of my result, but here I want to check what is the decimal value, right? Because I started with 2 decimal numbers, I am just coming back to the decimal value, right? So what I'll do, I'll subtract 1. If I do so, then it will be 1. It should be also 1. It should be also 1. This is also 1. This will become 0, right? And this will become 1 again, right? So let me check. So 1 0 0, this will become 1 1, right? Yeah. So this is the value. Now what I'll do, I'll take the 1's complement. If I take the 1's complement, it will be 0 1, then 0 0 0 0. So this is the magnitude. So it's 1 2 4 8 16. 16 in front of that negative sign, minus 16 in tensor representation, right? So let us try to have one more example. So you pause the video, try to compute it, and check whether I am doing it correctly or not, right? So 5 minus 18. So you pause the video and check whether you can do it, and then we'll try to have the answer. Right. So in case of 5, let me represent it as 101, a 0, just to represent its positive number. Here it should be 16 plus 2, right? So it should be 0 1, then 4 8 16. So 1 0 0 1 0, and then another 0 to represent it's a positive number. Now I need minus 18. So 1's complement, it should be 1 0 1 1 0 1. I'll add 1 here to have the 2's complement. It's 1 0 1 1 0 1, right? So I'll take it here, but obviously I have 6 bits, 4 bits, so I'll add 2 zeros here. So 1 0 1 1 1 0, right? So 1 1 1 1 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1. So 1 1 0 0 1 1, which is the valid 2's complement result, as there is no carry. So I'll understand that it's a negative number, so it's in a 2's complement form. If I want to have the decimal, then what I'll do, I'll subtract 1 here. Oops. So it will be 1 1. Sorry, let me do it here. Okay. So it's, if I subtract, it will be 1 1 0 0 1 0, right? Take the 1's complement. It will be 0 0 1 1 0 1, right? That will be the magnitude. So this is nothing but 1 plus 4 plus 8, right? Plus 8, which is 13, which is the magnitude. There was no carry, so I know that it's a negative number. So minus 13. So 5 minus 18 is actually minus 13, right? So we'll stop here for this 1's complement and 2's complement discussion. In the next video, we'll very briefly touch upon the basic computer organization, because we just wanted to give certain ideas that how memories and the other peripherals are connected with a processing unit, because after that we'll directly jump into the discussion regarding the processors, like the 8085 processors and all. And before that, I want to give an overview about the peripheral devices and their connections, and certain ideas about the overall architecture of computers. So we'll have like certain discussions about the placements of memories, accessibility of the memories and all. But it's recommended that you revise your previous knowledge about the flip-flops and the combinational circuits and sequential circuits very briefly, because that will be required in our discussions here and there about like the different AND gates, NOT gates, OR gates, and also like certain flip-flops like the D flip-flop and JK flip-flops and all. So it's recommended. I'm not actually trying to go through them, because I believe that you have very good knowledge about those things already. So try to revise those things, because I'll use them in different structures, assuming that you have already gone through it. You have certain knowledges about these logic gates and also some sequential circuits. Okay, so we'll stop here for today, and then from the next class we will start discussing about the basic computer organization setups. Thank you.